Brad, the other night, obviously, you guys had a lead and you lost it. Tonight, you had a lead, you lost it. But what does it say about the team that they were able to bounce back and win the game anyways?
Bill, I think the biggest thing from my standpoint is I'm happy for those guys. It's not easy to go through that, and you get kind of, I guess the term would be writer's block. And when you go through that, and it happens a couple of times, and then you get more fearful of a negative result than you do of just doing your focus is on your job and the task at hand. That's why I talked about before the game. We wanted to play well. We wanted to play our possession. We wanted to play with great focus, and we did that. We played with great energy. I thought we attacked better offensively late in the game than we have, and then we turned it up a couple of times defensively. They missed a couple shots now too. I mean, Roberts missed a couple of open ones that he made in the first half, which helps. But I thought we really competed. I thought we really competed, especially in the second half defensively. And we thought we lost Sully for the game, but then he came back from a twisted ankle. Jared Bayless hyperextended his knee. He's going to stay back for an MRI, and if he's okay, then he'll fly and meet us tomorrow. And then Rondo, I didn't know until 6:15, or else I would have told everybody at 5:45. I knew that he had gotten knee in the shin, and I knew that he was sore, but he went through, walked through, and but when he got on the court, he did not feel good, and so that was his call. And so I told Phil at 6:20, you're starting, or 6:15, you're starting. He played a great game in his place.
Will Rondo play tomorrow?
I don't know, Bill. Obviously, if he feels good, he can, because it's not a back-to-back for him because of. But that, I don't know. I haven't talked to Ed. Ed came in and told me, he said Rondo is out, and I went straight to next plan, and because we only had about an hour and a half before the game.
Brad, Phil Pressey, I think it was the third quarter, we dove on the floor for that ball, tossed it to Olynyk for the finish on the break, and then at the end of the game rises up above everyone. You just talk about that play and what that says about him as a person and what kind of player he is.
Every coach in the country wants their guards to get back on the shot and not offensive rebounding, especially the point guards. And then he makes a play like that, and we're like, hey, that was a huge play, great play. But great play. But the diving on the floor was great. And this is what gets me so excited about coaching here. Is everybody gets that. This place erupted at that moment, and they understand it. And I talked about how great the fans have been to us all year in a tough year, and it was really that was really a neat moment. I wish we could have stopped and cheered, but we had a game to play, and we almost gave our lead back.
Well, Brad, how much does Phil seem to be thriving on these opportunities? I mean, when Rondo's out, he gets in there. He always seems to be doing something.
Well, Phil's got he's got a lot of pride. He's a tough guy. He's a very good defender, very good at the point of attack. Got hit on a couple screens late. He played a lot of minutes, so that's to be expected. And he's getting much more comfortable offensively as far as shooting the ball and making plays. He really had a nice game offensively. He's got a little riverboat gambler, so he ends up, there's greatest strength, greatest weakness at times, but he's been thrust into a tough spot because sometimes you play, sometimes you don't, sometimes you start to play 40 minutes, sometimes you play 3 or 5. He's handled it very well, very mature.
Brad, you mentioned before the game that you want to win a few games at the end of the season to build some momentum. And I'm just curious, how do you see, a win tonight or however in the next week, building momentum, for June, July, August, going into next year?
We got a lot of guys that are contracted that are back on this team. We got other guys that aren't, that we are very fond of, that we may have back on this team. And every day that we get together and everything that we do, those guys can get better through that. And we've had a lot of close games not go our way, and tonight one goes our way. Can you turn some of those around with extra opportunities and extra experiences like this down the road. I'm of the belief that everything matters, and I'm also of the belief that those guys they've invested a lot, and they came out and they've really competed pretty well throughout the course of the year, and they deserve to celebrate in the locker room, and be excited in the locker room, especially after the string of losses we had.
Brad, this is the 48th game this year where you guys have been within 5 points, either leading or trailing in the last 5 minutes. Why do you think almost all these games have been close, especially really, really late?
I said this earlier this year, and I didn't know that it was going to be like this every day, but every game really is an adventure. And, no lead is ever safe. We've had multiple of those games where we did what Charlotte did tonight. Like, we're on the road at Dallas, we're down 15, we come back and we come right back in the game. We're down at Toronto, down 13, we come right back in the game. We've had multiple of those too. And I think people in this league play a lot of close games, and that's why we have to get a lot better at finishing them.
Brad, this is kind of a tough question, but you must realize that some fans want you to lose the rest of the season just to get a better draft pick possibility. What do you say to those fans to convince them that it's a good thing that you won the game?
Bill, I have a job, and my job is to get this team to play as hard and as well together as they possibly can. And at times, and to execute, and to hopefully be on the right side of the scoreboard at the end of the day, or the left side of the scoreboard at the end of the day. All of us are disappointed in our overall record, and all of us are. Certainly aware of talk, but that's not our task. Our task is to play as hard, coach as hard, and do right by the game. And I think that's what those guys in the locker room have pretty consistently done. Again, I think we've had a couple of clunkers, but we've had a lot of games like this, and a lot of them that didn't go our way, unfortunately.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.